All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a video on Vocab Malone's explanation of the MOTB, the Karagma, that's mentioned in Revelation 13 and verse 16. So the first thing I'm going to do is just play it the whole way through so that you can all hear what he had to say on this particular topic.
Ask you this now, before we close out, I got to bring this question. I'm going to see how much you do study. I got two more questions for you. I really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'm going to ask you 2 of the 5. Talk to us about the mark of the beast according to the book of Revelation. What is it?
Oh,
is it physical or is it spiritual?
There's really no way to do that this fast.
Oh man.
Okay. I got some. Here's okay. That's we can do a little something here, right?
Right.
The main place people would point to there would be like Revelation 13.
Okay.
That's a key place, and since I do got to go, I don't have time to do the whole breakdown. But here's the simple version of the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not anything physical in any meaningful way, and there's a couple reasons why I say that. And one key reason has to do with the parallel. Just like there's a mark that is said to be given upon those who are in alignment with the beast, there's also a mark said to be given those who are saved by grace, meaning the Christians are described as having a mark as well. Now, when I bring this up to people who believe that the mark of the beast is literal, they think it's not a good parallel. But the fact is, both these marks are described in Revelation. But the mark that Christians have is not literal. It's simply a way to say that it is clear who they are assigned with, what side they're on, basically. So the mark of the beast is essentially saying that these are the people who align with the satanic system. Now, I do believe in the end times that will result on a practical level in Christians being shut out of the economic system, but not because the mark of the beast is a microchip like the HAR of GMS or the Sakari guys teach, not because of that. And in fact, when we're expected to believe that, we are expected to believe that John is writing this book and he is telling people about a computer chip that's going to be implanted in their skin in the 21st century, and they're supposed to make sense of this book. They would have no way to understand what that meant. And I do not believe in such an acontextual reading that would be completely irrelevant to the people reading the book, that it's actually a computer chip. And so, or some kind of physical thing like that. So
I'm going to go deep in it. Last question.
Essentially, it's a symbolic symbol. It has meaning, but it's not a chip or some physical mark.
Okay, last question. Much you do study. I got 2 more questions for you.
So as you saw it, he don't know what it is, man. Right? He don't teach the truth on that topic, and that's just another one of the many things that this guy won't want to speak the truth on, man. And I found out as well when I watched this video is that this guy believes in predestination, right? Right? He teaches that predestination is true according to the scriptures, yet he don't believe that Deuteronomy 28:68 is talking about the Atlantic slave trade. But why, if we are the Israelites, which he doesn't believe we are, that's fine. But if we are the Israelites, why wouldn't that great of a slavery be prophesied in the Bible? And why wouldn't that great of an event in human history, in fact, be written in the Bible? Because that, when people think of slavery now in this world, they either think about ancient Egypt or they think about the Atlantic slave trade. Those are the main 2 slaveries that people speak about when they speak about slavery. Those are the main 2 things that come up into people's mind, right? Yet he don't think that would be written in the scriptures, man. And then you even saw, which I'm gonna go to in a minute, you even saw that he doesn't believe that John the Revelator could have had a dream 2,000 years ago that speaks about things that are happening now. Yet I'm pretty sure he would agree that Revelation, the book of Revelation, is end times prophecy. So he doesn't think that John the Revelator could have saw things that happen in our time now, and that they could have saw the micro C hip being put onto people right now, which doesn't make any sense because he wouldn't have known what that was, that technology. So he would have had to explain it in the way that he explained it, right? He would have had to use the wording that he gave to explain it. But as you saw, Vocab Malone don't believe that a prophet of God is able to do that. Because Vocab Malone doesn't really even believe that this is the end times, in my opinion. And if he does, then what he said doesn't make any sense. Because of course, John would have saw things that are happening now. Of course he would have. Now, let me just quickly go to the scriptures and show a few things on what it says about the charagma. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the charagma of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. So the charagma, right, the M-A-R-K, is something that's going to be used to produce miracles. Now, if you understand the things that those RFIDs, those bio C-hips can do, man, those things can do what this world would say is miracles. If they place them in someone's mind, they can make that person be able to hear. They can make that person be able to see. They can make that person be able to walk. These are all things that Yahweh Shai was doing without those technologies. And when Yahweh Shai did them without those technologies, what did people call those? They called it miracles, right? So when Esau's doing it with those things, what are people going to view that as? They're going to view it as miracles because they don't remember seeing Yahweh Shai. They don't believe, some of them don't believe that Yahweh Shai existed. So if they see on an earthly sense with a man's eyes, because they don't believe that Yahweh Shai walked the earth, if they see it with their eyes in this time now, they see a man do it, just a normal man, they'll be like, wow, that's a miracle. This technology really is great. It's able to do miracles. And that's going to make them be more trusting of it when they get told this is mandatory now. But Vocab Malone don't believe that they'll do that. He don't believe that they'll do that, yet he lived through the same time that we lived through where they made everybody, or they was trying to get everybody else to take something else. But loads of Israelites never took that though. Loads of Israelites never took that. And who knows whether he did or not. More than likely he probably did, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to bear false witness, but more than likely I think he did take it though. Right, but I can't prove that. Revelation chapter 16 and verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the charagma of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Now that's a physical thing, this noisome and grievous sore, right? That's going to be a physical thing. So why wouldn't he believe that the charagma is a physical thing when it's based around buying and selling? Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, which are all different types of physical state of people, right? So these are real people that are going to be required to receive a charagma, right, in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? Now, it ain't talking about the forehead represents your mind and the right hand represents the actions and the things that you do. These are talking about locations that they're going to place this. And if you look at what they can do with Neuralink, they can place it right in your head, man. Right inside your head. And if you look at what they can do with RFID, they can place it in your hand. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able, you're going to, like he said in this video, they're going to be cast out of the economic system because they're not going to want to take this. But he never said that. He said that he thinks that because people don't want to worship the satanic system, that they're going to be cast out. But he don't believe that it's a physical thing that's going to make them prove that they're in. As if Esau ain't carnal. You know how carnal Esau is. How can you believe that this world's satanic and all of that, and that there's people that are carnal, earthly men, right? But then not believe that they're going to require physical proof for you to show them that you're down with them. And the physical proof is going to be that charagma. They're going to say, okay, you're saying you love my society. You're saying you believe in the alphabet, in the rainbow and stuff that I'm talking about. You say you believe that there's as many genders as you want there to be, right? You're saying that there's no such thing as right or wrong. You say that. It sounds good, but I need proof that you believe me and believe in that. Take this. Then that will let me know that you're down with me. Take this. Right? That's what Esau is going to require. Have this. Prove it. Right? Prove that you love me. That's what Esau wants. He wants that proof, man. And all these people that worship him are going to prove it by taking that. All of them, man. All the people that don't really love the Lord are going to, it's going to be shown that they don't love the Lord because they're going to take that. Right? Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4, and I saw thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands. So people are going to be beheaded for not taking this thing. But you people out there don't want to believe that it's a physical thing that's going to be required to do. What could be this? What could be the spiritual thing that people are required to do that makes them be able to get beheaded for? Anything else they'd be able to deceive? They'd be able to just, for example, a Muslim, if it was a vocal thing that you'd have to say, he could just pretend and say, okay, I love you, but really he don't. And then just deceive and not have to prove it to Esau, who's a carnal man, based on earthly things, that needs evidence for all things to believe anything. So why would a man like this not require everybody that says that they love his society to physically prove that? Right? To physically show, man. Now let me go play this again, and I'm going to speak over some of the things that he says this time.
I'm going to see how much you do study. I got 2 more questions for you. I really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'm going to ask you 2 of the 5. Talk to us about the mark of the beast according to the book of Revelation. What is it? Is it physical?
You see Vocab's nervous laugh, man. And Sarnetta already knows what it is, man. Because he's watched the apostles of Great Millstone and he's learned from them. Just like how he learned about the grape thing from them, right? He's learned this from them too. Because after Apostle Har said to him, man, to hell with that, keep talking about the grape thing all the time. That's done away with. His last couple of videos, I've started noticing that he's talking about that now. After, like Apostle Har told him to do, actually. And he didn't confirm or nothing and say say definitely, yeah, he's listening to what Apostle Har told him, but I don't recall him ever talking about that before Apostle Har told him that on a video that Apostle Har made. Right? And now because Yahweh's put the spirit on him to on Apostle Har to say that to Sarnetta, right? Sarnetta is actually Yahweh's put a spirit on Sarnetta to corner these people that say that they're about the Bible, man. So they can't just keep scoffing at the Israelites all the time. They're gonna have to explain what they believe, right? So it's real easy, as Vocab just did in this video, it's real easy to say it's not what Israelites are saying it is. But he never, in that whole time, if you listen to it, he never actually says what he thinks it is. It's he thinks it's a spiritual thing. What though? He says it's not a physical thing. So what is the spiritual thing that it is? How would you spiritually know that someone's got it? How do you spiritually know that somebody's got this? Right? Since it's not physical, we can explain how we physically think somebody's got it, and the spiritual things that are going to require and are going to happen for somebody to want to take it. It's going to be somebody that don't believe in God, don't believe that that is the thing in the first place, is down with all the philosophies that Esau teaches and that's promoted in this wicked world, right? They believe in the whole feminism, planned parent, all of that whole society, believe in the alphabeting and the rainbowing community. They just believe that you can do whatever you want to do. They're arrogant and proud, lovers of themselves. These are all the kind of people that are going to take it. But what does Vocab say? He just does a nervous laugh and says that it's not what GMS or Sakari say it is. It's not something physical in any meaningful way. But he doesn't actually, in the whole 2 minutes, 46 seconds video, he doesn't say what he thinks it is. And that's the sign of a demon, man.
Or is it spiritual?
There's really no way to do that this fast.
Oh man.
Okay. I got some.
Mate, you've had years of reading the Bible, you still ain't got a confirmation of what you want to say it is yet. This guy's been reading the Bible, scoffing for years. And this is the first time I've ever even seen him talk about this topic, man. I've never heard him say anything about this before until Sarnetta cornered him and asked him about it, man. Now, whether he has said it on somewhere else or not, I don't know. But I've never heard him ever talk about this. And Apostle Dahar really spoke through Sarnetta based on what Yahweh put the spirit on Apostle Dahar to tell Sarnetta to do, man. So really, Yahweh speaking through him to corner him on this, man. To corner him so that he has to vocalize. He has to vocab it, yeah? He has to vocally say what he doesn't think it is, so that when it happens and it actually what the Israelites have said it is comes to pass, then he can be shown to be false.
Here's okay. That's we can do a little something here, right?
Right.
The main place people would point to there would be like Revelation 13.
Okay.
That's a key place, and since I do got to go, I don't have time to do the whole breakdown. But here's the simple version of the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not anything physical.
Mate, forget saying what it's not. Say what it is. And you see what I mean with these people? They always want to, any low life can say what something ain't, right? But it takes a bit more skill to say what it is, man. When you're teaching somebody, you don't just spend your time saying what something ain't. You want to tell them what it is. Anybody can say, oh, when Israelites say that the MOTB is the Karagma, right? Anybody can come and say, nah, I don't think it's that. I think you're lying. Okay, what is it then? It's not what you're saying it is. Okay, what is it? Well, it's definitely not what you're saying. Okay, I understand you don't think it's what I'm saying. What is it then? Well, it's definitely not what you're saying. That's what Vocab Malone does all the time.
The mark of the beast is not anything physical in any meaningful way. And there's a couple reasons why I say that. And one key reason has to do with the parallel. Just like there's a mark that is said to be given upon those who are in alignment with the beast, there's also a mark said to be given those who are saved by grace, meaning the Christians are described as having a mark as well. Now, when I bring this up to people who believe that the mark of the beast is literal, they think it's not a good parallel. But the fact is, both these marks are described in Revelation. But the mark that Christians have is not literal. It's simply a way.
Yeah, but what about the other one, though? What about the one that the non-Christians have? What about that? Is that non-physical too? Is that non-physical?
To say that it is clear who they are assigned with, what side.
And what would be more clearer than who someone's assigned with than them doing something physical? Would that not be the clearest way to separate everyone? So the ones that are spiritual, they're going to be shown to be spiritual because they don't have the physical thing. Right? That if everyone else is wearing hats, right? And in fact, we already had an example in this world, man. Right? Loads of people in every single country in this world physically did something in the last 3 years. And loads of other people physically on this earth did not do something in the last 3 years. Right? Now, if at that time when that thing took place, all those people that did that physical thing would have received a noisome and grievous sore as a result of the physical thing that they did, then we would have had even more physical proof on who did and who did not do that thing. Now, if they would have made that physical thing that everybody did in the last 3 years, make them be able to buy and sell things, but everybody else not be able to buy or sell things, then that would have been an easy proof on who hasn't did that and who's really rocking for the Lord.
They're on, basically. So the mark of the beast is essentially saying that these are the people who align with the satanic system.
Yeah, but you see how that's not saying what it is, though? You see what I mean? How are they going to prove that they're aligned with that system? How are they going to prove it? And okay, you can say he never had enough time to explain it on all that, but Yahweh's going to force this guy to explain what he thinks regarding this topic, man. Yahweh Bar Shem Yahweh Shai is going to force him, which he's already did a little example now, a little snippet of his doctrine on that. And then watch when Yahweh ends up showing what it really is and making things become mandatory, right? He's going to end up being made to look like an idiot, man. Just like how Nate, right? Nate said that it's June. It's June. Ain't no microchips. He said that, right? He said it's June, right? And then what did Yahweh do? Yahweh took June and made it National Microchip Month, which now I shouldn't have even said that word, man. But June is national that month, man. Which even just the fact that when you speak on the charagma of the beast and say that word connected with it, right? The video gets taken off the internet, man. I've had videos that haven't even had no views because the channel had no subscribers, right? And put a video up about that with that title there. And the video has been taken down off the internet when it didn't have any views, man. Because the channel didn't even have any subscribers on there. Or had like one subscriber on there, man. And the video goes up and gets taken down off the internet, man. And on previous channels that I've been watching of brothers' videos before, they've had a video with that. And they've said it, they've went in on it, man. They've said, yeah, this is what it is, this is what it is. And I've just been watching them like, yo, that brother was going in on that, man. He broke that down. And then the next thing you know, I go to watch the video again to try and like take notes and stuff and like that's been said. And the whole channel's gone. Missing. The whole channel's just gone. Because they spoke about that in truth and it was taken down. So why is that happening? Why is that? Because it's the truth, man. That's what it is.
Now, I do believe is essentially saying that these are the people who align. So the mark of the beast is essentially saying that these are the people who align with the satanic system.
Yeah, but you see how that's not very clear? Him saying that is not very clear, man. What is going to be the thing that's going to make these people prove that they're in line with the physical system? You think that it's just going to be words that these people are going to say? Because we already know that most people in the world have got thousands of different views that they have. There's loads of different religions on this earth. There's loads of different belief systems. There's loads of different political views. So what is going to be the thing that's going to bind all these people, rich and poor, free and bond, small and great, to prove that they are part of the satanic system, as he's saying? It's going to have to be something physical to prove that. It's going to have to be. And we already know what that is.
Now,
he don't.
I do believe in the end times that will result on a practical level in Christians being shut out of the economic system.
Well then, so if he can agree with that and say he agrees that it's going to cause for... Let me see how he said it again, man.
On a practical level, in Christians being shut out of the...
So he thinks that Christians are going to be shut out of the economic system. But how? Why though? What is it that they're not going to be willing to do that everybody else is willing to do? Because the average Christian, according to what he's saying anyway, is all up in the world anyway. They eat pork, they yam pork like everybody else, man. They're arrogant and proud like everybody else. They love money like everybody else. So what would it be that's going to be required that's going to make a person that says that they believe in the Bible not want to do that everybody else is going to want to do? What is it? What is that thing that they're going to want to do that they'll be prepared to do that a person that believes in the Bible is not going to be prepared to do, man? And I wonder if he'd be prepared to say on camera whether he would or wouldn't take one of those RFIDs or not. Which more than we already know he's going to take it, man. We already know he's going to take it. There's a special place in the lake of fire waiting for this guy. You already know. This guy scoffed way too much, man. This guy scoffed way too much to ever be able to receive any repentance, man. This guy's an Edomite.
Economic system, but not because the mark of the beast is a microchip like the Har of GMS or the Sakari guys.
And there we have it, man. His number one passion on this whole earth, man, to talk about Apostle Tahar, man, or to talk about Israelites in general.
chip like the HAR of GMS or the Sakari guys teach. Not because of that. And in fact, when we're
why do you have to mention Israelites, man, on that, when we're not, the Israelites are not even the only ones that believe that that is the MOTB. So he's just trying to make a doctrine diverse to what they say, what Israelites say, man. All he had to do when he was asked the question is say what he thinks it is. You don't even need to say it's not what they're saying. Just say what you think. And then what do we do after you say what you think it is? Well, time passes by, right? Because prophecy has to be fulfilled. And then we start to see what's happening on the earth. So if a day comes where it becomes mandatory for people to take micro C-hips into their body, and Israelites have been saying that's going to happen, and that's what Revelation 13:16 to verse 17 is talking about, then we'll be like, okay. But if Vocab Malone's saying, well, it's not anything meaningful in any physical way, well, then if they physically require for people to take this thing mandatory, that means that what he said is not true, right? Because they shouldn't require you to do anything physically in any meaningful way then. Which wouldn't it be meaningful for them to require you to take something in order to buy or sell? That's a very meaningful way. So if there's ever any situation in this earth that takes place that you physically require something to happen in order to buy or sell, that's a meaningful way, which would show that Vocab alone is a false prophet, which we already know he is anyway. Yet he wants to try and call Israelites false and say that we ain't got the right God, but he ain't got the right God.
But not because the mark of the beast is a microchip like the HAR of GMS or the Sakari guys teach. Not because of that. And in fact, when we're expected to believe that, we are expected to believe that John is writing this book and he is...
Yeah, we do believe that. We believe, right? Israelites believe that John the Revelator saw thousands of years into the future, and the event that he saw was people in a line, right, being forced mandatory to take a micro C-hip. That's what we believe. Just like how Daniel was told, all these other men in my land have not been able to decipher my dream, right? And I'm not going to tell you the dream. And I want you to both tell me what my dream was, right? Because I forgot the dream. And I want you to tell me what my dream meant to. And guess what? Daniel was able to do that. Now, do you believe that, Vocab Malone? Do you believe that Daniel was able to know a man's dream that he'd never dreamt himself and wasn't told the dream and then explain what it meant? Do you believe that? Because that's in the Bible, right? Do you believe that God flooded the whole earth and replenished it with ultimately really 6 people because 2 of them didn't have any more children? Do you believe that everybody in this earth that's alive right now is alive because of 6 people? Noah's 3 sons and their 3 wives. Do you believe that a man walked on water? Do you believe that Jonah was in the belly of a big fish? Do you believe that Peter walked on water and that Yahweh Shai walked on water? Do you believe that Yahweh Shai healed men that were blind? Do you believe that the apostles cast demons off people? Do you believe that Enoch was translated? Do you believe that Elijah was taken from the earth in a cloud? Do you believe that Yahweh Shai was taken up into a cloud? Right? These are all things that are written in the scriptures, but you don't believe that a man could have saw a dream and spoke about the dream that he saw in wording and in words that he knew from his time and had to explain things that he saw based on things that he knew now. Just like how if we saw a vision of something 2,000 years from now, right? And we saw like an animal that's going to exist 2,000 years from now but don't exist now, that we ain't seen yet. We'd explain it based on animals that we saw now. So if we saw a lion and a fish hybrid, right? But it's actually not called a lion fish or nothing like that, but it was like a lion. It had a lion's face, but it had a fish's fins, but it's standing on 2 feet. We'd explain it like a lion man fish. But is it a lion man fish, or would the animal have a name for the time that it's living in? Just like how the thing that John the Revelator called the charogma was not actually called the charogma in the time of when it exists physically. It's called the micro C-hip. at that time, which I'm saying it in this way so that the video don't get taken down, man. Like Vocab Malone don't really believe in the deep things of the scriptures because he don't believe that John saw end times prophecies, man. He's talking about him having value to people of the time. It wasn't for them. It's for this time now, this particular prophecy anyway. That particular prophecy is for the time we're living in now. And that's why it hasn't happened yet, right? It hasn't happened yet because it's getting ready to happen in our time.
And in fact, when we're expected to believe that, we are expected to believe that John is writing this book and he is telling people about a computer chip that's going to be implanted in their skin in the 21st century, and they're supposed to make...
Yeah, that's exactly what we believe. Now, the problem is, why don't you believe that? Why don't he believe that? Didn't Yahweh Shai talk about things that's going to be happening in the so-called 21st century, as he says? When he says we're going to see the Son of Man. In fact, let me get a scripture on that. The Messiah spoke about things that he's going to do in the future. So why wouldn't he believe that anybody else spoke about things that's going to happen way in the future? Why not? Don't you believe the Bible's got prophecy in there or not? Matthew chapter 24 and verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be dark and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Now, what the Israelites believe that that's talking about, we believe that that's talking about Yahweh Shai coming with UFOs, right? That's Yahweh Shai coming with UFOs, man. Whatever you want to call it, UFOs, UAPs, heavenly spacecraft, whatever you want to call it, man. That's what we believe that's talking about. Now, is it talking about that? Well, we're going to find out, right? If it happens, then it was talking about it. If it don't happen, then it wasn't talking about it, and this means something else. But how prophecy works when you read and using the Bible to explain prophecy is that people take a Bible verse, right, and they say, I think this means this. And if that thing happens, then they was telling the truth. And if it don't happen, then they wasn't telling the truth. Simple as that. Verse 11, and he shall send his angel with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the one end of heaven to the other. So that's a thing that hasn't happened yet. And that's the Messiah talking about something that he's going to do himself. Way into the future. So why wouldn't the same God that gives power to all be able to give both his only begotten Son the ability to speak on those things, plus the people that call upon his Son's name to also speak about things that's going to happen in the future? Why doesn't he believe that? In fact, doesn't it say in Revelation that, let me see. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him, to show unto his servant things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So why would it be funny that John saw things that's going to happen in the future? Why would that be hard to believe that John saw things that's going to happen in the 21st century? Why? You think that John didn't see that far ahead? You think that John didn't see that far? So that means then that according to what he's saying, that there's no prophecy written in the Bible then that speaks about this time now, because this is too far ahead of the future from God's time to be able to handle, to cope with seeing that far ahead in the future. But then this is the same guy that says that he believes in predestination. So wouldn't all the prophecies that are going to happen be written in the Bible then, for us to read them and get understanding of what we're supposed to expect and prepare ourselves for, right? And that's why when you hear these Christians speak, you end up realizing that they're not as deep as you think they are, man. They're not even close.
In fact, when we're expected to believe that, we are expected to believe that John is writing this book and he is telling people about a computer chip that's going to be implanted in their skin in the 21st.
That's exactly what he was doing. But he wasn't calling it that though.
Century, and they're supposed to make sense of this book. They would have no way to understand what that meant. And I do not believe in such an acontextual.
That's because it's for now.
Reading that would be completely irrelevant to the people reading the book, that it's actually a computer chip. And so, or some kind of physical thing like that. So
I'm going to go deep in it. Last question.
Essentially, it's a symbolic symbol. It has meaning, but it's not.
You see how we never said what it is? What's the symbolic symbol then? And that's what I mean with these people, man. Any loser can say it ain't. Anyone can say what it ain't. But it takes more skill to say what it is, man. Anybody can say, oh, Romans 9:13 doesn't mean that God hates people. Okay, what does it mean then? Well, it don't mean what you racists say it means. Okay, what does it mean then? Well, it don't mean what you think. Okay, what does it mean then? Well, not what you're saying. Okay, so you don't agree with what I'm saying it is. But what is it saying? And you'll just realize you're going round and round in circles with these Christians because they don't want to stand on anything, because then when what they say don't happen, they'll be found to be a liar. And these Christians just care about their fake public image, man. They don't want to tell the truth. They care about looking good in public in front of people, man. That's what they care about. And I'm going to end the video there, man. This guy ain't got it, man. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.